Row your boat to liberation with the 6 oars. Yoga Sutra teachings from Reverend Jagannath Karera. In Book 1 of Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, we are introduced to 9 distractions that can potentially become obstacles to our growth in meditation. Sutra 1.30 reads, disease, dullness, doubt, carelessness, laziness, sensuality, false perception, failure to reach firm ground, and slipping from the ground gained. These distractions of the mind stuff are the obstacles. Fortunately, in Sutra 1.32, we receive encouraging news. The concentration on a single subject or the use of one technique is the best way to prevent the obstacles. Sutra 1.33 demonstrates how the mind can retain its peace in any situation. It has been referred to as the 4 locks and 4 keys by Sri Swami Satchidananda. As a brief review, Sri Patanjali divides interactions into 4 categories. These are the locks, or the puzzles and challenges we face daily. The keys that are applied to these situations help the mind retain undisturbed calmness. We learn that calmness of mind is achieved by cultivating attitudes of friendliness toward the happy, compassion for the unhappy, delight in the virtuous, and equanimity toward the non-virtuous. Sutra 1.33 is an invaluable practice. However, it is not the only practice that Sri Patanjali presents as a way to attain calmness of mind. The following 6 sutras also give various techniques and suggested objects of meditation that help steady the mind. All of these sutras begin with the word or, O-R. They are the oars that help us row to the shore of peace. We begin with Sutra 1.34. Or that calm is retained by the controlled exhalation or retention of the breath. The mind and breath are related. When the mind is calm, so is the breath. When the breath becomes agitated, the mind follows. When we regulate the breath, the mind will become more clear and calm. By gently extending the duration of exhalations and gradually increasing the retention of the breath, we exert a powerful calming influence on the mind. It should be noted here that breath retention is a very powerful practice. To avoid any potential physical harm, it should be attempted only under the guidance of a qualified teacher. 1.35. Or that undisturbed calmness is attained when the perception of a subtle sense object arises and holds the mind steady. For some seekers, the experience of something out of the ordinary acts as an encouragement to persevere in their practices. Tradition suggests several ways to gain the experience of subtle sense perceptions. For example, steady focus on the tip of the nose or tongue. If your concentration is sufficiently deep and stable, you will experience a nice fragrance with the first techniques and a wonderful taste with the second. 1.36. Or by concentrating on the supreme, ever-blissful light within. This sutra refers to meditation using a visualization technique. From this we can infer that any inspiring visualization, religious symbol, or form of God that points to the self can be part of a yoga practice. We are asked to focus our minds on a truth that we have not yet experienced, that there is a divine light within. It requires a certain amount of faith even to try this. Eventually, the visualized light will disappear and be replaced with the true experience. 1.37. Or by concentrating on a great soul's mind, which is totally freed from attachment to sense objects. This can be regarded as an alternative to Sutra 1.36. If you cannot imagine or believe in your own inner light, then look to the heart of a great saint, prophet, or yogi in whom you have faith. Perhaps you can perceive the light there. 1.38. Or by concentrating on an insight had during dream or deep sleep. This sutra is referring to a particular type of dream, those that in some way influence us for the better or teach us a helpful lesson. With regard to deep sleep, Sri Patanjali is not asking us to meditate on sleep itself, but on the peace of dreamless sleep. 1.39. Or by meditating on anything one chooses that is elevating. Sri Patanjali knows human nature. There will always be someone who will find a reason not to take his suggestions. It doesn't matter, he reassures us. As long as you find it spiritually inspiring, go ahead. It will work. The teachings of Raja Yoga are useful for everyone, regardless of background, era, or faith tradition. If the chosen object captures our interest, inspires, and points us in the direction of the self, it has Sri Patanjali's seal of approval. We will close with Sutra 1.40. Gradually, one's mastery and concentration extends from the smallest particle to the greatest magnitude. Through faithful practice, the yogi can focus the mind on any aspect of creation, from the most subtle to the almost unthinkably immense. A mind with this degree of focus and clarity is fit for meditating on the infinite. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Peace, Peace, Peace.